Bro.
Banana, sorry.
So it's like oats, chia seeds, suspension.
Oh, chia seeds.
Random things.
Random acts of kindness.
And then I'll be back a little bit later to hand some stuff out to you. One, if any of you that don't currently have lockers want a locker, you need to go talk to Cindy soon to do that. So do that if you want. They're available to you. But if you don't, she's going to take the allotment that were set aside for you guys and open them up to other students. So if you don't have a locker and you want one, go. Cindy is in the nursing storage room. If you don't remember her name, just go to the nursing storage room. Someone will help you. There's that. I've been posting the workouts. I'm going to try to keep up on that, but remember that it's your responsibility to write down that stuff from the whiteboard and keep up on your logs. And sometime next week, I'm going to want to see your logs. Answer.
Would, when you asked to see our log, if we were to pull up a photo that we took of what was on that?
No. Ask that question again.
Is that an acceptable log?
Your log.
Here's this day.
Your
Here's
log
this day.
should be, remember that your log should be keeping track of what you did, including things like what weights did you use when we used weights, because that'll be different for everybody.
Okay.
And the little section on that log that described anything that you are working on that we've discussed, right? Goals or things that you're challenged with,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Fantastic. Let's see. I get this question all the time, and I change my answer all the time too. Just the way it is.
Whiteboard today? No.
You have a midterm coming up next week, and I already got this question from you guys, and that is, are you gonna post a thing that tells us everything that's on that? Okay. Yes?
Would it be safe to assume that everything that you covered in the first
It's
half
amazing,
of the
isn't it?
term would be on the midterm?
It's amazing.
And not spoon-fed to them?
I know, it's amazing.
Okay,
isn't
just
it?
check. All right, just check.
It's really difficult for me to break down specific topics because it's not a history class where I can say, well, let's just test on these topics and we'll not worry about those over there. It truly is anything that we've done up till the time that we blocked it, which is the end of this week. So anything that we've done by the end of today is fair game. I usually break down, what did you do? Why did you knock that down?
I couldn't find good things.
I'm blaming Cody just because I like to blame Cody.
I was like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about.
So don't step on the tack, wherever the tack is.
We can't, it's gone.
Gone inextricably.
It's not like a
Never
sock
got
in
my
a dryer.
tetanus shot.
It's gonna be in someone's foot.
Playing with fire.
I usually break down and will supply like a topic list for the midterm. But what you can expect to see on that topic list is all of our topics. But sometimes that makes people feel better, so I'm gonna do it. So I can do it, yes.
So just to clarify, Tuesday's lectures.
Will not be on Wednesday's exam. And I do put that down, I will say, up through this date. And there are some times where I don't include something we did this week because it's merged into something else, but that'll be clear.
Okay.
Anyway, don't rely on anything that I put there, and this is my disclaimer. I'm putting a disclaimer in right now. I'm gonna make you sign that you heard this disclaimer. The disclaimer is, if it didn't show up on the topic list, but we covered it, and I just forgot to put it on the topic list, it still can be on the midterm. Just because I forgot to put it on the topic list doesn't mean that it wouldn't be. I try to never do that, because I'm never trying to trick you on anything, but just keep that in mind.
So we should just know everything.
Isn't that the way everyone
Everything
should
you're
be?
talking
Yes.
Can you post them the lecture slides?
They are.
They are.
They already are. Trust me, they are.
Okay.
Yes.
We had a field guide on EKG, but we've never discussed it yet in class.
Correct. Anything that has happened up until now can show itself up in some fashion. There are some times where I'll have asked you to do an assignment of some sort, but the words have not come out of our mouth, right? There's also, like, we're gonna talk about cardiovascular, right? Cardiovascular emergencies. And we'll hit a ton of them, we'll talk about them, we'll hit them in scenario, but there'll be additional stuff in your reading that maybe we didn't say, right? It's still fair game. Good? I will, however, when I put the midterm information on, I do disclude things, and if I disclude it, it's not going to be on. So if I purposely say these topics are not going to be on this midterm, then I will not put those on.
How often do you say this is not going to be on the midterm?
I usually have a topic or two that is deferred for some reason, so, good. But I will stress it, if I didn't say it's not on,
Then it's on.
then it has a chance to be on.
So
Does
we
that
should
make sense?
expect to read rhythms, probably?
No.
No.
I will not give you any analysis of EKG on this midterm.
But structures of the EKG might be.
But structure might be, because it was in your reading, and you started the process, right? So what the P wave is and what it represents might show itself up, that kind of stuff, right? Okay, so keep that in mind. There will be, it'll open by tomorrow. It might open today, might, but it will open by tomorrow. A practice midterm, it's not practice, it is mandatory, you have to do it. But the stakes are low on it, but it'll be kind of a practice midterm for you to kind of look at and see how you're doing. It is not necessarily anything structurally like the midterm I'm going to give you. It's more, here are the topics, here are some questions taken from a test bank for you to just see how you're doing.
Will we be able to see which of those questions we get wrong? Are they sort of
Yes,
like the
so
quiz?
that one, unlike the reading quizzes that go all year long, that one will have a close time. It'll be timed. You can use any notes you want, it doesn't matter, but it will be timed. But there will be a close time on it as well. And at that close time, when that exam officially closes, all the answers will be available to you, not just your score.
And is it one attempt?
And it's one attempt on that one. The stakes are very low on that one. You have to get a 75% for it to count for you, right? So if you get above a 75% on it, it's as if you got 100%. If you get less than 75%, it's as if you got 0. And you can look at the syllabus to see how all that pans out, right? It's very low stakes in terms of its value to your grade, but it's a practice that gets you ready for the midterm. See where you're at. Make sense?
I got a question.
Answer.
Hey, just a quick question. So if you were successful 75% of the time on giving the right medication to somebody, would you call that successful?
No.
All right, just checking, just checking.
Fantastic.
Shoot for 100.
76. Okay.
Yes. You don't shoot for 100, we're at 100.
A couple of other random things. I want to talk about alcohol. Not the drinking version. I don't mean to get your hopes up and excitement. Chris did not bring alcohol for you to try.
Although I did tour Ninkasi yesterday.
So maybe he did bring alcohol to try. Alcohol prep pads. I want to fix just a general concept on that. Alcohol is a very poor sterilizing agent. If you look at sterilizing stuff, we don't ever use alcohol. We use some more high stakes drugs, chemicals. From a disinfectant standpoint, alcohol is an intermediate level cleanser. And in order for alcohol to be used as a disinfectant, it typically needs to be in contact with most things for about 10 minutes, not seconds, okay?
I'm gonna sit here for 10 minutes.
The value of alcohol prep pads is not in that you're slathering them with alcohol and then magically causing the disruption of all the membranes, and really it's a dehydrant for those cells anyway, but not are we using it in that capacity? And the capacity that you use alcohol prep pads in is that when you apply alcohol to something, it disrupts bonds. And then it is the physical wiping that actually removes that area and cleanses that skin. We're not sterilizing the skin. We are not. We are just reducing the likelihood of having big giant bugs that get to go inside when we stick a needle in. Which means when you're using an alcohol prep pad, it is the rubbing action that is actually taking care of cleansing that site. So push, make it count. Rub the site, don't massage the site, don't caress the site. Get in and remove the little chihuahuas that are biting the skin. Got it? Fantastic. Okay, what else do I have to talk about? I've talked about this a little bit in your studying, and you're starting to see that in the way that we've structured the class. And it can potentially cause frustration, which I don't mind at all, that you're frustrated. I'll tell you why in just a minute. But I have two things to talk about with that, because I do want you to understand the madness. I am not going to provide us a whole bunch of material in a bunch of blocks. We are not going to cover all of one topic to its conclusion, and then go down to another topic and complete it to its conclusion, and then another one to complete it to its conclusion. We are going to intermix all of that all of the time, to the frustration of some of you who are golden here and really want to have a period on something before you start the next sentence. Right? It's not going to happen. We've found that this is after several studies where students were given blocks of information. They were given a tutorial on a bunch of information. Then they were provided example problems for them to do. This is not in a test. This is just in example problems right afterwards. And then they were given a different block of information and a different set of problems. So they were given 4 blocks. They were given block number 1 and then example number 1. These are the problems number 1. So topic 1, problems 1. Let's say they did 4 of those problems. Then they were given topic 2 and then problem 2, 4 of those. And those problems were directly related to this. Do you see what I'm doing? And then topic 3, problem 3, topic 4, problem 4. That's one way that they were given it. So they were given the topic and immediately after given the problems, given the topic immediately after and given the problems, they got the problems correct 89% of the time. Wonderful. The other version was to give topic 1, 2, 3, and 4 all at once, mixed up in there, and then give them all 16 of the problems at once. This group got those right 60% of the time. And this is the way we're going to do it. And Noah's gone, you just blew me by 29%.
Which that test problem 1 now.
A week later, they were provided the same things again, and a week later this group went down to 20% correctness, and this group went up to 63%. That was without studying. That was just providing them the tutorial and then giving them a problem to work with. I don't care if you can answer a question tomorrow on what Chris talks about today. What I care about is 8 months from now, that when you're in the back of an ambulance, you can draw that information out. Does that make sense? Good. We will interleave all of our topics in this manner every single time. Yes?
How does enacting scenarios fit into that?
In what means?
So when you're talking about interleaving, later in the term, when we've covered a lot of these topics, are we gonna interleave with scenarios
Yes.
and information?
Yes.
Or are we just gonna do scenarios?
Yeah, good question. We will start scenarios early on in here and continue them all throughout the year. Yes.
For a solid D.
Good? Okay, in addition to that, you're just gonna have to deal with this. Maybe you picked the wrong paramedic program. I will always do things like yesterday. So for example, let's just take the ANS topic that we had at the end, right? I could absolutely have stood up there and just said, hey guys, in the parasympathetic system, the presynaptic neuron is myelinated, it ends with acetylcholine and it works on nicotinic receptors. The nicotinic receptors are found on the postganglionic neuron. It's going to relieve to the end with releasing acetylcholine and work on muscarinic receptors. I could have said that in 30 seconds and we could have been done. Yes? Instead, we were sitting there going, what's going on? Everyone's talking. I don't know what's going on. Is this what it is? Is that what it is? And some of you had frustration going, I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. And then by the end, it was, that's what it is, right? That frustration that you feel as you go through the learning process is what helps you to retain that information. Good? I think you should do that in your studying at home as well.
Just get really mad at the materials. I hate this so much.
Read 3 of wrong
No
answers.
kidding. We have found time and time again, if we make students mad, they remember the information better. I don't care if you hate me. I care that 8 months from now, you don't kill anybody and you make them better because you remembered everything. Good? I always have a reason for why the structure is the way it is. I'm happy to take you aside if you really want to know, and I can give you all the studies and I can show you all the examples. In the meantime, just know I will continue to do things like yesterday on purpose. Sound good? That's all I have.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Will we have field guides and other assignments this weekend? Okay.
You can expect that they won't be as much, but that's me saying they're not as much, not that you think is
Also
as much.
spend
Check.
In
Well,
terms of,
that's what yeah.
not having next week's Tuesday discussion not being on the test, are our field guides from this weekend and our med chart gonna be on the midterm?
Yeah, great question. So nothing that is due next week
Okay,
will be on the midterm
thank you.
at all. Everything that is going to be related to the midterm ends as of today. So whatever was due today, whatever we talk about today, that's where it ends.
Thank you.
I absolutely, by the way, might ask you questions about fitness. Go on.
On the field guides, are we gonna have them graded by this weekend, so we can see if we got certain parts wrong or whatnot?
So what was the last one graded? The grading should be kept up, so
The last one that was graded was the first field guide.
they'll all be graded before the end of this weekend, so.
And is there any, besides using each other, is there any way that we can get like definitive clarifications on the med chart dosages and things?
So when it comes to medications, I said before, the dosages you are not responsible, I don't want to say you're not responsible, you are responsible for it. We will discuss specific dosages because that is the one thing that you can't really get from any resource accurately because there are so many different possibilities for dosages. I would absolutely expect you to have all dosages of any medications we've discussed or any that you are currently licensed to provide. Everything else we'll fix on dosages. So I would be looking for questions like mechanism of action and contraindications, indications, that kind of stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Others?
I'm kind of curious, you said that we should be getting angry at our studies, like to
Well,
retain
It's
it.
relative.
Can you, how do you do that?
So I don't mean to say angry. You should build emotion into your studying. So for example, if you are a really gold person in here, and when you read something, you have to read from the first word to the last word, change, right? I think that when you study, for example, let's talk about EKG. We're gonna get into rhythms. I'm not gonna present you all sinus rhythms, and then all atrial rhythms, and then all junctional rhythms. We'll be discussing sinus and atrial and junctional all together in different ways, okay? I think that when you, for example, when you read, you should read, half of what a sinus arrhythmia is, and then move to what AFib is. And then move to what, junctional tachycardia is. And then back to what a sinus block is, right? And then over to multifocal atrial tachycardia, right? And split what you're doing so that your brain is left not knowing all the information. Anytime you leave your brain not knowing all the information, the brain wants to put a period on it. Once you put a period on it, the brain then goes, I've accomplished that, I don't need to remember that. An example in everyday life, if you take a waiter or waitress, you take a server at a restaurant and they take somebody's order, right? If you test those servers on what their customers ordered, if the customer has not yet paid, they remember the order. If they've paid, they don't remember the order anymore because they put a period on it.
Back to the table.
Right? Same thing here. Leave not having completed the topic so that your brain continues to kind of stew about it while you're doing everything else in your day. Good? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And don't study for more than about 20 minutes at a time. Take a break. Any more questions?
Do you have an update on uniforms?
They should be here Monday, is what we've been told. Is what we've been told. Which means on Tuesday, you get your pictures taken too.
Good.
Picture day.
Live touch?
So whatever that means to how you want to make yourself look pretty.
When do we start our thing?
So give or take, I think Derek has the first one set for October 20s. Somewhere in the mid-20s is when it'll be set. So all of you should have all of your requirements done by what day?
No,
And do you get your flu shot on the 15th?
No, we should already have it.
Good. So as long as everything's in, whoever's in on that, we will send everything in on the 15th, and everything should be ready for the following weekend is when he starts the possibilities for you to look at.
Are there sign-off requirements on phys staff that have to be complete before we can do clinicals?
So the only thing that you have to have done before you start your ER time is that we have to see success on your green sheets and make sure that you can do IVs, because that's the biggest thing you're gonna start with over there. The rest of the sign-offs get you into winter term. Yes, sir. I see the question.
Okay, so basically just like practice more IVs, because I still kind of suck at them.
You do not want to suck at IVs.
Okay.
Stop sucking at IVs.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. The class motto.
Don't fuck it up.
Don't suck.
There you go.
Know everything.
That got me through like 12 years of college.
Don't.
Don't suck.
Or you could be like Mons and Carpe Diem, attack the day.
Other questions? It's all you. Whatever you want. That's cool too. And I'm taking all your time.
That's all right, it's only like 7 slides, so
Perfect.
we get a lot of talking. Hopefully I don't talk too fast. There's a lot of information, a lot of pertinent information. This is the application, knowledge, history taking.
That's a very good one. Very valuable, right here.
This is the one that I.
Don't suck today.
Oh, man, you guys, I sure hope you memorize everything that we talk about today.